The Galactic Dominion was known for its unmatched might. Its fleet spanned thousands of star systems, its armies composed of warriors bred for conquest. No species dared to challenge its rule until humanity emerged from the shadows of Earth. To the Dominion, humans were a primitive, inconsequential race, isolated on the edge of a galactic backwater. But when humanity began expanding, colonizing barren worlds and terraforming inhospitable planets, the Dominion took notice. At first, the Galactic Senate laughed at the reports. "Let them play with their dirt and rocks," said the Krell ambassador, his mandibles clicking in amusement. "It will never amount to anything." But then humanity did the unthinkable. They ventured into Dominion-controlled space. A small human colony on the planet Epsilon Theta IV became the spark that ignited war. The Dominion demanded humanity vacate the planet immediately. Humanity refused. "This world is ours," replied the United Nations of Earth in a transmission. "We will defend it." The Dominion's high command saw it as an opportunity to make an example of this upstart species. They dispatched a fleet of 20 warships, led by the battleship Glorious Vanguard, to annihilate the human presence on Epsilon Theta IV. The operation was expected to last a single day. It took less than an hour for the Dominion's confidence to shatter. Admiral Tharvuk, a veteran of countless campaigns, stood on the bridge of the Glorious Vanguard, his crimson eyes fixed on the holographic display. "How can this be possible?" he growled, his claws digging into the armrest of his command chair. The human ships were unlike anything the Dominion had encountered. Sleek, angular, and brimming with advanced technology, they moved with a precision that defied logic. Their weapons were devastatingly effective, cutting through Dominion shields as if they were paper. In minutes, 3 Dominion destroyers were reduced to molten wreckage. "Admiral, our shields are failing," cried an officer, panic evident in their voice. "Human railguns have breached our outer hull." Tharvuk's rage boiled over. "Impossible. They are a primitive race." But the evidence was undeniable. Humanity's ships were faster, more agile, and more adaptable. Dominion tactics, unchallenged for centuries, were useless against them. The humans anticipated every move, countering with brutal efficiency. On the ground, the situation was even worse. Dominion shock troopers, genetically engineered for warfare, landed in massive dropships, expecting to overwhelm the human defenders. Instead, they found themselves facing soldiers equipped with advanced exosuits and kinetic weaponry that turned the tide of battle. Captain Elena Vasquez led the human defense. Her exosuit's HUD displayed the battlefield in intricate detail, every movement of the enemy tracked in real time. "Hold the line," she barked, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. "They're not invincible." Human soldiers fought with a ferocity the Dominion had never encountered. They used guerrilla tactics, ambushes, and hit-and-run maneuvers that decimated the invaders. The Dominion troopers, trained for frontal assaults, were ill-prepared for such ingenuity. A Krell warrior, towering over Elena, charged at her with a plasma blade. She sidestepped effortlessly, her exosuit enhancing her reflexes. In one swift motion, she raised her rifle and fired. The Krell collapsed, its armor shattered. "Is this all you've got?" Elena muttered, scanning for her next target. By the end of the day, the Dominion fleet was in full retreat. Of the 20 ships that had arrived, only 6 managed to escape. The rest were either destroyed or captured. On the ground, the surviving Dominion troopers surrendered, their morale shattered. News of the defeat spread like wildfire across the galaxy. For the first time in millennia, the Galactic Dominion had lost a battle, and not just to any foe, to humans. The Dominion's High Council convened in an emergency session. The chamber, an opulent hall filled with representatives of the galaxy's most powerful species, was abuzz with panic. "This is unacceptable," roared Overlord Vakrin, slamming his fist on the table. "How could a backwater species defeat us?" Ambassador Tialith of the Avrian Collective, known for their analytical minds, responded calmly. "We underestimated them. Humans are not primitive. They are different." "Different how?" snapped Vakrin. Telith gestured to a hologram displaying footage of the battle. "Their technology is not as advanced as ours, but it is innovative. Their adaptability is unmatched, and their determination. He paused, his feathers ruffling. They fight as if they have nothing to lose. The council fell silent. They had always believed their dominance was unassailable. Humanity had proven otherwise. On Earth, the victory was celebrated, but humanity knew the war was far from over. The United Nations of Earth convened its leaders to discuss their next move. President Amina Okoro addressed the assembly. "We have sent a message to the galaxy," she said. "Humanity will not be subjugated, but we must be prepared. The Dominion will return, and they will not make the same mistakes." Admiral Marcus Chen, the architect of the fleet's victory, nodded. "Our strength lies in our unity and our ingenuity. We must continue to innovate, to adapt. That is how we will survive." The Dominion did return, but each encounter ended the same way. Humanity's resilience, creativity, and sheer willpower outmatched the Dominion's rigid strategies. Over time, other oppressed species began to take notice. They saw humanity not as conquerors, but as liberators. Rebellions erupted across the Dominion's territories. Inspired by humanity's defiance, species that had long suffered under the Dominion's rule rose up to fight for their freedom. The Dominion's once mighty empire began to crumble. Years later, in the ruins of what was once the Dominion's capital, Overlord Vakrin stood before a delegation of human representatives. His once proud demeanor was gone, replaced by weary resignation. You have undone millennia of dominance," he said, his voice trembling. "How?" Ambassador Elena Vasquez, now a symbol of humanity's strength, replied with a faint smile. "You thought we were weak because we were new to the stars. But humanity has always thrived in adversity. We not break, we endure." Vakrin lowered his head. "And now, what will you do with us?" Elena's gaze was steady. "We are not like you. We do not seek to dominate. We seek to build. Join us, and together we can create a galaxy where no one lives in fear." Vakrin hesitated, then nodded. "Perhaps there is hope after all." Thus began a new era. Humanity, once seen as a primitive species, became a beacon of hope and unity. And the galaxy learned a lesson it would never forget. Never underestimate humans. For those who went to war with them lived to regret it.